Welcome to the Fearless Floyd Show. I am Fearless Floyd. Today is Wednesday, January 15th, 2025. And most of you are over on Fox News or Right Side Broadcasting watching the Senate confirmation hearings for the incoming nominees for the Trump administration. And more power to you. I think it's just all a bunch of theatrics myself. Of course, the Democrats have not learned their lesson. And to this day, I have no comprehension as to why there's still a Democratic Party. Because the only thing left of the Democratic Party, in my eyes, are just these elected officials and then the ones that are in power behind the scenes for the Democratic National Party. And then, of course, the retired and voted out of office politicians that are possibly running the show. Because on my own personal Facebook page, not my other one, I tell you what, before the election, you couldn't shut up those damned ass Democrats. They just want Trump this, Trump that, Trump. And man, they just could not help themselves. Beating up Trump. It was all about Trump. Wasn't about the economy. Wasn't about the Biden administration hiding the fact that, Joe Biden obviously has dementia or Alzheimer's or some type of mental cognitive issues. And they all covered it up. And then when Kamala got exposed for the word salad sandwich that she actually is and wholly incompetent, it makes you really wonder what the hell's going on in California. How did Kamala Harris, basically an escort, go to law school, get a law degree, run for office as a DA, get elected DA, run for attorney general, become attorney general, and then become vice president? It's insane. But we're not here for the Democrats, even though this video pertains to a democratically run state, a sanctuary state, sanctuary cities, sanctuary county, left-wing liberal agenda, trans agenda, LGBTQ, RSTV, WXYZ, those folks. And hey, in 2025, can we stop calling them transgenders and lesbians and LGBTQ plus 1,000, whatever the hell they are? Can we just call them, go back to what they originally were? Because they were so happy with their sexuality, and we just called them gay. Okay, if you're happy being gay, be gay. We don't give a fuck. Don't hit on our kids. Don't groom on our kids. Don't hit on me unless I hit on you. Go be gay. Be a flaming gay. We don't give a fuck. We really don't. We're not suppressing you. We're not beating you up. We're not discriminating against you. We actually like to hang out and party with you because one of my best and longest friends is a flaming homosexual. And he was a flaming homosexual in junior and senior high school. Yes. And his older brothers were the two football studs or sports studs, athletes, jocks. And we weren't tripping. He's still my friend to this day. Absolutely. So, let's just call them gay. Okay. Doesn't matter what they are or however they identify. If they want to come out and wearing a dog suit and that's what they want to be, okay, you're gay. You're having fun. You're gay. We're just going to leave it at that. But let's get into what the hell is going on in California and how that is affecting the rest of the United States. Because most of you don't know, most of you haven't done your homework, most of you haven't read books. What country has the United States detonated more atomic bombs? The United States of America. Absolutely. The military, the United States government, has detonated more atomic nuclear weapons on American soil or American territories than any other country in the world. You wonder why we have all these UFOs and drones hanging out? Well, I think they actually caught a clip of Joe Biden, and Kamala Harris went, "What the fuck's going on in D.C.?" We can't let those idiots run things. But most of you don't know, most of these atomic bombs were detonated in Nevada. Well, where's Nevada? The western half of the United States. Well, what starts over in the western half of the United States and ends on the eastern seaboard? The jet stream. What does the jet stream do? It starts in the Pacific. It goes across the United States. The pattern fluctuates every season of the year. And everything it picks up on the West Coast, it dumps all across the United States. Tomorrow, folks, at high noon, I have a guest coming on. I'm going to show you his thumbnail. That's what I'm having on tomorrow. We're going to discuss this in greater detail. But I wanted to bring this to you because if you're in the line of fire for the jet stream, then these toxins and poisons are going to become particulate matter, and they're going to descend and fall on your water, your land, your vegetation, your produce, your pets. I can go on and on and on and on. So let me go show you the article over here. Hey, baby girl. No, would you hang on? I'm doing a show. Okay? I'm doing a show. I know you didn't mess with me for the first hour. Now you want to come mess with me. What's up? Totally ignored me all morning. All right, right here. This is from thehighwire.com. I got turned on to this by Dr. Sandy Murecki, PhD, Lieutenant Colonel, United States Air Force, retired, former test pilot, just basically a badass. And tomorrow, my guest, Jim Gale, another badass. So it's been a great week this week. But here is the article, Los Angeles fires ignite fears of toxic dioxins and cancer risk. So what I've done is taken it over here to Microsoft Word so it can speed read, so I don't have to speed read it for you. So here we go. We're going to start right here.
Los Angeles fires ignite fears of toxic dioxins and cancer risk. Thehighwire.com. Up.
Hang on, I'm not sharing. Sharon. I'll restart that. Sorry, guys. Glad I caught that before I played the whole dang thing. Oh, no, that's not what I want. That's what I want. All right, here we go.
Los Angeles fires ignite fears of toxic dioxins and cancer risk. Thehighwire.com. Updated 2:55 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, Tuesday, January 14th, 2025. By Stephen Middendorp. Highwire. The Los Angeles fires have caused more than 12,000 structures to burn down, raising concerns of dioxin exposure and environmental contamination. Multiple fires in the LA area have taken the lives of 24 people so far as firefighters continue their attempts to contain them. Dioxins are toxic chemicals that form when products containing chlorine or carbon are burned. The most well-known recent example of dioxin exposure is the 2023 East Palestine, Ohio train derailment. Local authorities called for a controlled burn of the vinyl chloride and other chemicals, forming dioxins and creating a polluted environment for residents. The Highwire reported about independent evaluator Scott Smith's testing results as well as his work to test the environment in Conyers, Georgia after a pool supplies company caught fire in September. The EPA has a document warning about dioxins in the context of backyard burning. The document states dioxins are highly toxic, long-lasting organic compounds. They are dangerous even at extremely low levels and have been linked to several health problems, including cancer and developmental and reproductive disorders. A new report about a devastating 2021 fire in Boulder, Colorado, provides more details regarding the potential impact of the LA fires. The Marshall Fire in Boulder burned about 1,000 homes, less than 10% of the destruction that has occurred so far in LA. Nearby homes that didn't burn down contained increased polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbons and volatile organic compounds, VOC, including dioxins, benzene, and formaldehyde. The authors of the Marshall Fire study surveyed residents about symptoms that they attribute to the fire. 55% of residents surveyed had symptoms 6 months after the fire. 33% had symptoms a year later, and about the same percentage continued to have symptoms 2 years later. The most common symptoms were itchy or watery eyes, 33%, headache, 30%, dry cough, 27%, sneezing, 26%, and sore throat, 23%. Another common symptom was having a strange taste in one's mouth. All the symptoms were associated with residents who said their homes smelled different when they returned a week after the fire. 2.6% of respondents experienced nausea or vomiting 6 months after the fire, and 1% continued to experience the symptoms after 1 year. 8.3% experienced shortness of breath, and 4.7% had an allergic skin reaction 6 months after the fire. In November, the Highwire reported about an EPA official's admission that mistakes were made in responding to the East Palestine, Ohio train derailment. Mark Durno, the emergency response official, told a resident in leaked audio that there needs to be a validated link to prove that the toxic chemical exposure caused residents' symptoms and adverse health conditions. According to Durno, the fact that the symptoms didn't start until after the fire is not enough to prove causality. In June 2023, CDC Medical Officer Art Chang said, "There is no way to get rid of vinyl chloride from the body. There is no way to get rid of dioxins from the body. We may not know how to treat or get rid of vinyl chloride from the body, but we know how to treat those cancers." During the Marshall Fire in Boulder and East Palestine, Ohio train derailment are case studies that reflect the dangers of exposure to VOCs and dioxins. There has been no data collected regarding cancer diagnoses and other severe health conditions. This is because cancer takes a long time to develop, and it is extremely difficult to control for other confounding variables. The EPA states, cancer does not develop immediately after you've had contact with a cancer-causing substance or carcinogen. Often, it takes a long period of time, such as 15 to 30 years, before cancer is diagnosed after exposure to a carcinogen. This makes tracking what caused the cancer very difficult. Also, since people are exposed to so many substances every day, it is very difficult to determine which ones may have increased their risk for cancer. Durno acknowledged scientific research that is showing a real phenomenon of health issues resulting from multiple exposures to low-level contaminants, but said there are too many scientific uncertainties for agencies to take regulatory power to keep residents from going back to their homes. CBS News reported, multiple evacuation zones were lifted, on Sunday, for both the Palisades Fire and Eaton Fire. The fire department has multiple considerations when determining whether an evacuation order should be lifted, including the amount of infrastructure damage and public health. The EPA has not issued a press release concerning the LA fires but has directed ex-users to guidance that recommends limiting time outdoors in smoky areas. The EPA also links to an air quality map that shows most of the LA area has good air quality. The area southeast of Santa Monica shows mostly moderate air quality, stating that unusually sensitive people consider reducing outdoor activity and people should go inside to cleaner air if you have symptoms. The study from the Marshall Fire in Boulder shows that homes do not prevent contaminated air from entering the household around gaps in doors, windows, and heating/cooling systems. In addition to dioxin exposure through the air, there are concerns regarding agriculture. The EPA states, dioxins accumulate in the food chain. Airborne dioxins can settle onto feed crops, which are then eaten by domestic meat and dairy animals. Dioxins also can settle on waterways through soil erosion. These dioxins accumulate in the fats of animals, and then in humans when we consume meat, fish, and dairy products. The EPA doesn't mention the potential contamination of vegetables, fruits, and nuts. Smith, the independent evaluator in East Palestine, found garlic that contained dioxin levels of 440 parts per trillion compared to 0.81 parts per trillion in the control garlic that was harvested before the train derailment. Los Angeles County has over 1,000 farms and more than 57,000 acres of active farmland. That is less than 1% of the total agricultural production in the United States. Antelope Valley farms produce baby carrots, peaches, cherries, and alfalfa. The county produced 36,000 tons of alfalfa in 2019, which is primarily used as livestock feed.
There you go. Now, all the burned out sections of LA, those are toxic waste dumps. How they're going to dispose of that, how they're going to clean it up, eradicate it, who the hell knows? But everything that burnt, that went up in the air, went all the way across the United States to the eastern seaboard and beyond into the Atlantic Ocean. And all those particulate matters dropped on the soil and water. So all that farmland, all that ranch land, all the livestock, all the wild game, yeah, full of toxins. When I tell you your government wants to kill you, I mean that. We can look at today's FDA finally banning red dye from all products. And hopefully this will cause a domino chain reaction to all food products. So when you actually go into a convenience store, you don't have a choice of nothing but 99% poisons and toxins and chemicals that you can't even pronounce. You have no clue what the hell these things are. But yet you're going to throw down your $2 and get that Snickers and walk out the door and eat it. So our food supply is being contaminated at a very high level. When did cancer and all these other illnesses really start become a thing in the United States? Cancer, Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, dementia, all these diseases that when I was a child, if somebody had cancer, wow, it wasn't about smoking. What about having your pH level at an acidic level? And it wasn't about the food you were eating. It was a rarity. And if somebody had some other type of disease like Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, I don't even think I heard of that. We call people, they were aging, they were getting senile. So they hadn't put a medical description on it. It's just, oh yeah, grandpa's senile, he doesn't remember what he's doing and he'll argue with you and repeat the same things over, same things. And then we have the chemtrails, and that's a whole different subject. And I want to get into all this tomorrow with Jim, because this guy, he's been in the trenches. He's done the due diligence. He's backpacked 37 countries. He decided when he was, I think, 27, 29, that he was going to become wealthy, independently, financially secure. And in 3 years, he created $1 billion mortgage company. He's a go-getter. He's a badass. So I'm very interested to hear his take on, what's going on in LA, what's going on with the chemtrails, and I haven't spoken to him about any of this stuff. So it'll all be fresh tomorrow. That's why I want you guys to stay tuned tomorrow, because what they're going to do in California when they create this new 15-minute city for the 2028 Olympics and all these other big events they've got going on over there, what are they going to turn that city into? Are they going to use permaculture, or are they going to put in grass to where they need more water to keep these lawns green because they have a homeowners association holding them accountable and fining them if they don't, do like everybody else and have, green grass lawns? We have to change the way we live in our environment, the way we survive in our environment. We shouldn't have to go to a grocery store to get produce. You shouldn't have to go to a grocery store to get chickens and eggs. You should be able to have them in your own backyard. It's your property. You're the boss, not the state, not the federal government. It's we the people. that are the government. And we can continue to surrender those rights and allow to be governed, because most of you don't have the capacity to self-govern yourselves. Some of you, the first thing you do, you pick up the phone and call the police. Please come help me. Well, they're overtaxed, overburdened, overworked, underpaid. Can't handle your own affairs, shouldn't be playing the game. So let me show you what the jet stream's all about. And this will explain it to you, what's happening, where you're at. This is 3 videos they're going to run.
Hello, MKHU meteorologist Chris Ramirez. Well, La Nina is back. Well, that's what the Climate Prediction Center is saying, and it's all thanks to recent data in the equatorial Pacific Ocean. Usually what happens is that we measure those sea surface temperatures out in the ocean, and the sea surface temperatures in the oceans usually do a good job at controlling the atmosphere and global weather patterns. And so there's an area off in the Pacific Ocean. It's called the Nino 3.4 region. It's off the coast of South America, Central America, in the middle of the Pacific Ocean. It's showing slightly cooler than normal temperatures. You're able to see that with those lighter colors in that region. So climatologists look at sea surface temperatures in that region, and they're able to tell whether or not we are in an El Nino phase or a La Nina phase. And recent data showing a weak La Nina with slightly cooler normal waters lasting at least through April. There's actually a 59% chance that we could still see La Nina pattern through much of this winter. So what does it mean for us here across Texas and Houston? We have to keep in mind that it's still a weak La Nina. So during a La Nina pattern for the winter, we usually get warmer and drier conditions across Texas. However, if you've probably been outside with the past few days, we've seen wet and cooler conditions. So during a weak La Nina phase, you could still get the opposite of what this shows here across Texas and across the South Central U.S. So usually what happens during our winter, January, February is Houston's coldest months. What we usually see is highs ranging between 63 and 65 degrees, lows 44 to 45 degrees. In February is a little bit warmer, 65 to 71 degree for highs, lows at 45 to 51 degrees. And we've seen conditions quite much cooler than this. So it could give us a hint on whether or not we're going to see this pattern last through the later winter season. So we could be looking at an early spring going into the next 1 or 2 months, but still too early to tell. However, weather models are indicating that we could get another significant cool down by next weekend from January 20th to 26th. So we could be looking at a surge of colder air moving right back down to Texas, bringing back those cooler temperatures. And we're expecting to remain a bit chilly, at least through the next few days. Highs in the 50s, lows in the 40s and 30s. We're going to warm up just slightly by the weekend. But weather models are hinting that we could see our next cool down by Sunday and Monday of next week. So that's kind of a reflection of a weak La Nina. Even though we're expecting to see warmer and drier conditions during a weak La Nina, it's still not uncommon for us to deal with those cooler temperatures and that precipitation like we've seen in the past few days. We had a really rainy, wet outlook these past few days, and we are expecting mostly dry conditions for much of the week, lows in the 40s and 30s and the 50s. But then next Friday and Saturdays, we're going to see that rain chance once again creep back into southeast Texas. But we could be looking at an early spring. Of course, we'll let you know when that happens. Of course, I'm meteorologist Chris Ramirez, and you can find the latest weather updates on KHOU.com and on the KHOU 11 app.
We want to do a deep dive into your weather impact this morning. So every year we talk about La Nina and El Nino, which are opposing climate patterns that break normal Pacific Ocean conditions, things that we're not really used to seeing. Right now we are experiencing La Nina.
So along the equator, trade winds blow water east and west. During an El Nino pattern, the trade winds weaken and warm water stays east, collecting off the coast of Peru. That's what you're looking at here. This impacts the jet stream, which is essentially a pathway for storms to move over the United States.
Okay, so the warm water then pushes the jet stream south, driving storms into the southwest parts of the country, but keeping the northwest warmer and typically drier. And La Nina is the opposite.
That's right. Trade winds along the equator strengthen, pushing warm ocean water away from Peru You're looking at that there. This pushes the jet stream more north, keeping the southwest more dry, with the northwest more cool and possibly more wet. While none of these weather conditions are a guarantee to happen, it's never a guarantee,
No.
is it? We have been experiencing a drier monsoon.
Yeah.
Little Pink Floyd for you there. Hang on, let me get it off there. There we go. Got all those stops. Sorry about that. And there we go. So as you see, that jet stream fluctuates, and as you saw there towards the end, going into the Baja, coming in through Arizona, New Mexico, into Texas, all the way down into the Valley of Texas, which is our citrus crops and very other produce, as well as cattle ranches. Yeah. And you see it float over into Florida. What's happening in Florida? What's it known for? The citrus state. This is what's happening in the United States of America. This is what we've allowed our governments to do, whether they're on the local, city, county, parish, state, federal level. And I'm telling you, y'all keep voting these bozo the clowns into elected office. You don't get out and participate in an election, you're going to get what you do. If you don't do nothing, that's what you're going to get. Nothing. If you get out and fight for your rights, fight for your health, fight for your future, then you're probably going to make some change. There's 3 things that need to happen in 2025. And Jesus Christ, I hope they happen on the 20th at 12:01 p.m. Truth, transparency, and accountability. And you know what the hell I'm talking about. We should not see hundreds of indictments. We should see tens of thousands of indictments. Yes. All these mentally ill elected officials. And again, I want to congratulate Dallas, Texas, for taking the mantle of the world's dumbest politician, i.e., Jasmine Crockett, from my hometown, Houston, Texas, and the late, not great, Sheila Jackson Lee, who was basically a congressional failure. She was a piss poor politician, ignorant, dumb as a stump, didn't do anything for anybody. And now we have Jasmine Crockett up in Dallas that doesn't even know her own ancestry, who called out Nancy Mace today. And Nancy said, okay, let's take this shit outside, bitch. We'll settle this like we do old-fashioned style. That's what I want to see. I want to see fucking fist fights in Congress. I'm tired of this. And then they go to the Senate chow hall or the House chow hall. They all, sit down dinner and, they're all hanging out and no big deal. No, I want to see some blood and guts. I'm tired of the bullshit, tired of the lies, tired of my rights getting run over, tired of these idiotic politicians. I'm tired of the whole left-wing Democratic agenda with all this trans ass LGBT. Listen, I work in the fucking entertainment industry. I'm a professional stagehand. I work for the International Alliance of Theatrical and Stage Employees, Local 51 Houston. We do the Houston Ballet, the Houston Symphony, Houston Operas, Houston Grand Opera, Theater Under the Stars, Society for the Performing Arts. You want me to keep going with all these different entities who clearly have people with gender identity issues who want to be something different from what they were biologically born. So as working in that industry for almost my entire adult life, since 1979, I started in the concert business with Pace Concerts at the Agora Ballroom in the Windsor Plaza, working security. That's where I started in high school. I've never, ever, 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 not one fucking time in my life working in the entertainment industry have I ever seen prejudice, discrimination, or anything against anybody because of their gender identity, their sexuality. Nope. I've worked with people recently within the last 18 months. I swear to God, I couldn't tell if they were a boy or a girl. I really couldn't. Short hair, tidy-whitey Fruit of the Looms, saggy pants. But they looked like they might have had breasts, you know? And they got the ambiguous name. Like Andy. You know, and I just roll with it. I don't give a fuck whether they're male, female, whatever the fuck they want to be. If you can do your job, cool. I'm good with that. Let's go fucking do our job and get the fuck out of here. So all this left-wing liberal fucking bullshit, man. Okay. They're gay. Boom. You're gay. Nobody's prejudicing you, and there's no reason for you to force it down our goddamn throats. So stop that bullshit. That's how I am. Go be gay. We're cool with you going and being gay. You don't have to fly your flags everywhere. Look, we're pretty much going to identify you right off the bat. Our gaydar is going to pop up and go, oh, yeah, they're gay. Okay, big deal. Next. You know, but when you come flying into the scene and you're wearing a rainbow afro and, you know, free LGBT plus and, you know, all this just insane bullshit, you're not being suppressed by anybody but your own ideology. Thank God DEI is D-O fucking A, right? I hope you can all agree with me. So I just wanted to show you what's going on over in LA and how it affects you, and how it affects your future. It affects your children. It affects your health. And we have to detoxify ourselves. Now, as mentioned in that article right here, where I'm trying to just want to get the specific one. Okay. The EPA states, okay, and this is the Environmental Protection Agency, which clearly has failed in its mission statement to protect the environment. Quote, cancer does not develop immediately after you've had contact with a cancer-causing substance or carcinogen. Often, it takes a long period of time, such as 15 to 20 years or 15 to 30 years before cancer is diagnosed after exposure to a carcinogen. This makes tracking what caused the cancer very difficult. Also, since people are exposed to so many substances every day, it's very difficult to determine which ones may have increased their risk of cancer. So, while you may not get cancer tomorrow, next week, next month, next year, eventually down the road, if you live in the area where this shit's at, you might be diagnosed with cancer. So you better take care of your health. I have some products. Y'all know what they are. The mushrooms. And we have the stem cell, stem active. We have AO12, the antioxidant gel, your daily infusion of rich antioxidant superfruits. And of course, we have the collagen peptides. This is the Amaze. And they had a Zoom last night. I caught about the first, I don't know, 20, 30 minutes of it. And then I had something else to do. And then the nitric oxide prime, which is like a pixie stick. If you want to know about more of those products, they're in the comment below. Also, the mushrooms for immune support. So using these products in combination, as well as detoxifying products. I'm going to go try to stop by globalhealing.com today, Ed's shop over here in Houston, and talk to his people and see what type of detoxifying products they have. I'm also going to become an affiliate, or I should have done that 18 months ago. You know, get busy and forget to do shit, and that's just how it works. It is what it is. Let me go over to the comments before I roll up on this, because I have a dentist appointment at 3 o'clock. Tahoe, welcome back to the show. Caught you this morning. Jimmy, welcome back. First, directed energy weapons, and 2, the smart meters. Number 3, why hid the P. Diddy's possible DNA evidence, and probably another land grab for their smart cities. And 4, Biden ain't been the real Biden since 2020. He's gone poof. Yeah, we talked about that last night. That there's multiple Bidens, multiple Trumps. Directed energy weapons. If you don't know anything about directed energy weapons, I encourage each and every one of you to go to the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office website and start searching. You're going to find them, and they exist. How you doing, Ms. Gonzalez? Audrey, hello. Look at that, kind of like the fog that recently was sprayed on America. Yeah, and that was some weird ass shit. And I was watching some videos of snow. And if you remember back in February of 2022 here in Houston, we had a week-long freeze. Unprecedented. And I was actually down on the coast. I was in LaPorte, in Shore Acres, where I was probably 300 yards from the Houston Yacht Club. And I have pictures. Icicles hanging from all the vehicles, hanging from the sides of the house. And I got some of that ice or snow and tried to melt it. And it didn't want to melt. And I saved it. But when the resident of that house sold the house and they moved, they threw it away instead of saving it. They didn't know what it was. No big deal. But yeah. Audrey, been saying this for years. Absolutely. And she says, give me treats. She already got her treat for this morning, but she still is awaiting her Bucky Bite or her Mush Puppy. And those are products of the mushroom therapy. You can get those at Fearless Floyd Pets. Man, I already forgot what the website is. Dirt. I got to go look. It's been that kind of morning. FearlessFloydPets.com. Okay. I'm getting too many websites. So they have them for your pet. She absolutely loves the Mush Puppies and Bucky Bites. And they're basically little cookies. And the Bucky Bites are peanut butter flavored. They're all human, biodegradable. I've eaten a little bit of one. I haven't eaten a whole cookie. Just to check it out, see what it tastes like. And it's, pretty bland, but is what it is. All right, let me get back over here. When it rains here in Florida, it leaves a trail of black stuff on the wood fences. Keep pressure washing and on the driveway. Yep. That fog mystery, they released that poison cloud over some states, and it's spreading. They, of course, call it natural smog or so-called disease pathogen released from cars exhausting. I don't know if it's a consortium of the military industrial complex, big pharma, big agri, our own U.S. government, or one of the multiple agencies, or a combination of those agencies, departments, and bureaus. But yeah, they're definitely trying to dumb us down, keep us dumbed down, keep us suppressed as a higher intellectual being. program, institutionalized, dumbed down, miseducated. You know, it goes on and on and on. But yeah, you're right, Jimmy. Panama 2000, we are already in World War III. I'm guessing so. Yes. World War III started when the United States funded Ukraine in Russia's efforts to regain control of the Ukraine. And then, of course, we have the whole Middle Eastern conflict. And then we have everything going over in the northwest corner of Africa with Somalia, Syria, Yemen, and all that crazy ass shit that's going on over there. So there's multiple wars, multiple fronts. And guess what? Congress has never approved this. We're literally in what's called proxy wars. We're using straw countries, straw men, okay, straw persons, to be correct, to fight our battles for us or our wars. Because Joe Biden is too cowardly, or whoever the hell's puppeteering Joe Biden or the administration. I can't wait till we can get some real freaking people in the administration who are actually going to do something to make some changes. We're all excited. We're all hopeful. Mike Adams and Steve Quayle also reported on this. All the food will be poisoned. Dust gets on the ground and the fruit trees. And it's everywhere. And let me explain to you this, and I'll go over this with Jim too, because of the chemtrails and all the particulate matter, you know, coming from the West Coast. Almost every organic farm, okay, that grows USDA certified organic produce or some type of meat product, whether it's turkeys, chickens, beef, buffalo, bison, whatever. If those animals are eating the vegetation on the ground and drinking the water, they're being toxified. Absolutely. And this isn't going to stop unless we make it stop. Conspiratory, I've got to move. I'm 35 miles from East Palestine. Yeah. I know you're a foreign currency attendee. So yeah, hopefully when that happens. Oh, by the way, for all of you who've come over here from Mark's earlier broadcast, do you know what the temperature is in Puerto Rico right now? Because it's 50 degrees here. And I went and looked it up because I'm going February 5th. And I wanted to know, like, what do I need to dress like leaving Houston, going to Puerto Rico? And what's it going to be like when I get to Puerto Rico? Because I don't want to take 2 bags. I just want to get one big ass backpack and do my thing. Folks, it is 81 degrees and it feels like 85 in Puerto Rico right now, in the heart of winter in the United States of America. So I'm not going to tell you to move to Puerto Rico, but if you're going to move, do your homework, research where you're going to move, and find an acceptable climate that you want to be in, where there's not an extreme winter where it gets down to minus 19 degrees like in Minneapolis, Minnesota, and you get snowed in for a day or a week. I don't like cold weather anymore. I loved it when I was younger and I had thicker skin. Now that I'm aging, my skin's getting thinner. I go out in the cold. I get cold really quick. I totally understand why elderly people always have shawls, windbreakers, coats, jackets. I always have, something over their legs or ankles. I get it. I totally understand it now. Mount Gardner. Mike said spirulina and cholera will detox dioxins. Okay. Yeah, we need to look into that. And I need to get with Ed and because this is a big thing. I mean, this isn't just people in California or people in Nevada or people in, all that area all the way across. Colorado, Wyoming, Nebraska, Oklahoma, Texas, all the way over. It's everybody. So the whole entire country needs to detoxify. So next time your government wants to give you a free vaccination, you say, no, I want a free detoxification for all the bullshit y'all been feeding me. That's what we should be asking for. And those come with tickets to the professional game, like, the Houston Rockets, or are y'all giving $100 Walmart gift cards with that detoxification like you did the vaccination? Right? Don't kill me. Don't poison me. You're back. Yes, you are. Fred Mitchell, how you doing? Thank you. El Nino, Spanish for boy. La Niña is Spanish for girl. Absolutely. The feminine and or actually the masculine and the feminine. Ryan Hall on YouTube is great for weather. They watch out for tornadoes. Okay. World War III hasn't started yet. Probable during the tribulation and the Great Tribulation. Bro, I'm going to have to disagree with you on that. We're going to agree to disagree, Jimmy. For those of you who don't know, Jimmy and I go back, probably 4 years now? 3.5? Fake NASA, Earth is flat. Yeah, NASA is a joke. I've been to NASA, got my credentials showing that I was at NASA. I was in their training facility. We did a Kamala Harris event. She came there to speak. I wasn't there for that event. I just went there for the in, which means we set everything, loaded in, set everything up. I wasn't there for what we call the show call. I did something else, who knows. And then they had the performance, and then we came in and did the out. So on every chair that we set up, we put a little piece of paper, all Xerox, but it had an image of the White House, and underneath it said, White House, and then reserved in big black letters. And certain seats, those were put on the seats to reserve for, I guess, the big wigs. And, I grabbed a handful of those as souvenirs. Because when the last time I'm going to get something that says White House reserved on it, especially not for me. And, of course, my plastic ID badge that they gave me, my name on it. Bob, dioxin is the most dangerous chemical on Earth. Yeah. And you have to think about this, okay? Household chemicals, automobiles, paint, industrial chemical companies, because commercial companies were burned down as well, especially dry cleaning. All those toxins, they went up and down. And that's where we're at. So the ones that went up went across America. Welcome to the real world, folks. My daughter had a carcinogen tumor removed hiding behind her appendix. Ouch. She's eating healthier, natural products, looking forward to going to Puerto Rico to spend life together. Awesome. I'll be there. I'm on my way. I'm definitely going in February. Then I'm going to go back in March. And then hopefully in April, I will have a permanent location there. I've got a plan. I'm working on a plan, folks. Actually, when I go the 5th, I would say 90% of every day is dedicated to establishing my business, or businesses, because there will be 2 of them, as well as getting a permanent residence. Bob, the whole area is contaminated. To rebuild your house, you must remove the soil. Yes. And, if they get a big, heavy rainstorm, that's just going to leach deeper, deeper, deeper in the soil. And how much of that topsoil can you remove before you get rid of it all? And then how do you get rid of it? Because generally, because I have a horticulture technology degree from Alvin Community College with a 4.0 and made the dean's list for this degree that I've almost never used. The only way that you can clean media or soil is to heat it up. And that's very, that's difficult to do on such a large scale, but that's how you do it. That's how you sterilize the media and get all the garbage out of it. They always move huge amounts of rain into the area, wash away the evidence. Example, the Paradise Fire, right? I agree with you. Blue sky, labor pains of birth of a new earth age. Yep. Harry, I want to ditch the wool and goose down. Here in Texas, we okay, during winter, you wake up and it's winter. And then in the afternoon, it's spring. And then later in the evening, it's summer. And then at night, it gets cold again. So we have all 4 seasons in one day. Here, you really don't need big, heavy coats, but you still have to have coats. And I would like to just have to do away with, all of that heavy clothing. That's why I'm going to Puerto Rico. I'm more of a beach guy. I'm still a country boy, but I will live in rural areas of Puerto Rico. I'm not going to live in big San Juan or Ponce. I'm going to live in some other place. I don't know where yet. I lived in Mayagas. Am I pronouncing that correctly? Mayagas. I need to definitely start learning Spanish. For 6 years. It's better than San Juan. Okay. I don't know what section of Puerto Rico that is. But I stayed in San Juan for 3 weeks. Pretty much saw everything there is to see in San Juan. I went to Fajardo. I went there to actually go to the El Conquistador Resort. But because I didn't have an appointment or I wasn't a guest, I couldn't get in. But I did establish a contact through the entertainment portion of my life with one of the supervisors for the in-house audiovisual company called Encore, who's going to give me a personal tour of El Conquistador Resort next time I go back next month. If you are hemmed up, you're toxic. Emeramide chelates mercury, but the FDA doesn't want you to have it, of course. When I was locked up, what was his name? Stacy something. And this guy was just blunt, right to the edge, but he was so appropriate in his delivery. And he said, you remember B17, the vitamin they used to sell in every health food store? You know why they don't sell it no more? I don't know. Why? Because it works. Oh, okay. And I can't tell you what it works for, but it works. We're already at war. We're under an invasion right now. Oh, yeah. You guys, I'm telling you, you haven't seen anything yet. Wait till the roundup starts happening. This is why I tell everybody, after January 20th, once these executive orders go down, these nominees are actually approved and get into their positions. In the first week, we're going to see a lot of crazy ass shit. Do not be surprised if you live in a big city or an infested city with illegal immigration. Listen to me, okay? I want you to think with logic and reason. Logic and reason. What's reasonable? What's logical, Floyd? Well, if I have an infestation of illegal immigrants in my city and they all communicate via the internet or via phone, apps, because we know they have an app. Well, how would I get them in a position where they're easily round up? I'm going to turn off the internet. I'm going to turn off all communications. I'm going to issue an EBS. I'm going to lock down the city. And I'm going to catch as many as I can. So, in my eyes, and I don't know, I don't know what these incoming nominees know. I don't know how many intelligence reports they've been getting. I don't know if they even know where the pockets of the bad guys are, who the bad guys are, because, you know, there's so many gotaways. I don't know if they know where these actual terrorist cells are, where they're operating, where they're training, where they're preparing. But there will be targeted, you know, roundups. You could possibly be in one of those jurisdictions. I don't know. But your city, town, county could possibly be on lockdown for that reason. So be prepared. Have food on hand. Have water. Have plenty of money. Small denominations. Because if they cut everything off, they need to cut everything off. Access to funds, access to transportation, no flights, no buses, no Ubers, no Lyfts, no taxis. And when I tell you this, trust me when I tell you this, because I'm living it. I'm surrounded by illegal immigration. This is Houston, Texas. It's not 20 million. It's not 30 million. This is close to 60 million illegal immigrants in the United States right now. Some of them come here, you know, before the Biden administration. But the first thing they do when they get here is that, man, they start dumping babies, anchors, like there's no tomorrow. Not one, not two, but like 3, 4, 5. And they believe that those anchor babies are going to keep them here in the United States. What's Trump going to do about that? Is he going to uproot the whole family and send them on and make them go through the actual citizenship process? What about all the people who like actually really got in line and are still waiting? Who have 160 IQs, multiple degrees from their universities or colleges in their countries. And we actually need their experience, knowledge, and expertise for some specific task or some particular career or job or research. But, you know, we got all this bullshit that just clogged everything up. We don't know what this looks like. That's why I tell everybody the movie starts January 20th at 12:01. Pop up your popcorn, get ready, because as soon as those 100 or more executive orders come out, you know, that's all you're going to see on the headlines. Boom, 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 boom. And it's going to be 2 weeks of mainstream media chaos. MSNBC, CNN, The View, they're going to shit their brains out their ass. They're not going to know what the hell to do. And I can't wait. And it's a movie. I don't know how y'all feel about Gitmo and all that, but we'll get into all that. VX gas. Lucia Beach. I have no idea where that is either. Mayagas is on the other side of the island. So it's south, down by Ponce. Island, 3.5 hour drive. I'm going to visit the entire island. I'm going to try to hit, you know, all the coastal cities, go up into the mountains, into the jungle when I do have some free time. How you doing, David John? Welcome to the show. If you're just joining us, tomorrow, this is who I'm having on the show. Another all-around badass. I want to thank my prior guest, Corey Inderlat. You can find him on YouTube. Corey, Nature is the Answer, for introducing me to Jim and permaculture. I don't know that much about permaculture, which is odd because I have a horticulture degree, but Jim's going to break it all down for you. We're going to get into his entrepreneurship, how at, such a young age, before he was 30, he decided he wanted to be independently wealthy for the rest of his life. And he created a $3 billion mortgage company in 3 short years. He does mentoring, training, all kind of things. So I'm really looking forward to having him on the show to present to you, to my audience. I know he's been on some other folks' shows, but it is what it is. If you have not watched the little excerpt I did on, where's the got? Oh, here it is. The 200-year plan with Noel Benoist, America's Shadow Government and the Great Deceit, revised and expanded for new information. Ted Gunderson, FBI, retired, and Noel Benoist, NSA, retired. And I talked to Noel last night. I did. And he spent quite a while over at the VA in Reno. Got back. He was actually supposed to get back Saturday. He got back Sunday night and didn't call me. He has something to deal with today, so we're fluctuating our schedules, trying to get together. But we're going to get him back on here, and we're going to talk about more topics. If you don't know, I'm co-authoring a book with Noel, The Pedagogy of Noel. It's his life story. Noel's getting up there in age, and nobody's wanting to document his story, and he fell in my lap. Thank you, Jeff Rom, for introducing me to him. And here we are, and I'm running with it. I didn't get a chance to talk to him about it last night because we were catching up on everything else. And I'm almost positive he gave me the publishing rights to that book, and I will republish it. So possibly look for that here in the near future. I don't want any profits off the book. It's not my book. I just want to be able to publish it, cover the cost for publishing and shipping and all that, and all the profits. I was thinking about that earlier today, where they should go. So when I have a conversation with Noel, we're gonna either pick a charity or we're gonna create a foundation or something. And I would assume that he would want it to go to probably military vets or something in that aspect. So we'll set that up. As I turned my life around in 2016. I gave it all to the Lord. Said, man, please, you drive, man. I keep having head-on collisions with the state of Texas and the county of Harris and the city of Houston. And, I'm done. So, I'll let him drive, and he just blesses me every day with just beautiful, gorgeous people, very intelligent, smart, experienced in their category. And, I can't be more happier, proud, humbled to be able to do this for you guys and bring these people on and meet these people myself. Because if you don't know, I didn't expect to live to 30. It just was not in my life plan. I figured I was going to burn out one way or the other. I was going to get killed, OD, or drink myself to death, something. And here I am. I'm twice past that and going on my third. So it's been quite the adventure. Many stories that are 100% unbelievable. But thank you, everybody, for jumping in here and checking this out. Tune in tomorrow with Jim Gale so we can cover some more on this and what this actually really looks like on a more intrinsic level with somebody who's, clearly more knowledgeable than I am on the subject. I'm happy to have him. Look forward to having you on tomorrow. What do you saving pregnancy from abortion? I don't quite get that, but I don't know. It is what it is. As you see down here, it says today was supposed to be my drones, robots, and autonomous vehicles. I've been bouncing that around during the week. I wanted to come on and do a live today. Oh, what? You okay? What's going on? And give you kind of a precursor up to Jim, because when I was studying all this last night, I actually read a book, and my buddy Stacy in prison, he had it, and I borrowed it from him, and it covered every detonation by the United States government or military of nuclear, atomic, or nuclear weapons in the United States, and all the effects. Because when they first started doing this, they did it above ground. Like, okay, well, we can't do that. You know, we got to do it below ground. So then they built these tunnels underneath, and they had people standing in these tunnels. It got majorly exposed to radiation and died within 2 to 3 weeks from radiation poisoning. Absolutely. Yes, our government did this to our own service people, our own civilian researchers. But the book covered how the fallout from those detonations covered the United States of America. So when did we start this? In the 40s, 50s, 60s? How long does it take for a carcinogen to show up? 10 to 30 years? Do the math, folks. Why do we have cancer, Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, dementia, all these chronic diseases? Your own government did it to you. These are serial killers, folks. Real life serial killers who have schools named after them, buildings named after them. Yeah. They're honored for deliberately killing Americans for the interest of national security. So I don't think any country wants to actually detonate a nuclear weapon on another country in this current age, unless you're an extreme radical. Any rational leader of a country, doubt they're going to do that. Just because of the proliferation of nuclear weapons amongst the known and unknown countries, because there are countries that have nuclear weapons that, you know, they're not on the radar. All those nuclear weapons from the former USSR were sold off. Absolutely. There's nuclear weapons all over the world. Known and unknown locations. Absolutely. So if you think those drones over on the East Coast are sniffing for nuclear fallout waste, the germanium sniffers, which I've taken a deep dive in, the drones, robots, and autonomous vehicles video that you will see Friday, if I don't have a guest pop up and schedule for them, because I do have some people that are in the queue. I'm just waiting for confirmation, scheduling conflicts to be eradicated. I'll cover all the latest, greatest, top high-tech capabilities of artificial intelligence, robotics, and autonomous vehicles. Like the latest and greatest. Some from CES 2025, Consumer Electronics Show. China, I think Russia's air show. China had an air show. China did a symposium. United Arab Emirates did a symposium. So I'm going to show you the capabilities of what these, you know, what's out there. And what we're seeing in the skies worldwide, not just on the East Coast, they're not man-made. Some of them, that's United States Air Force, Space Force technology. Those are the triangular TRB-3s that you see up there. If you see the three triangle lights that never get outside of proportions, they're always the same three triangles, no matter how they turn or whatever. Those are ours. They're up there either monitoring or chasing these things, whatever they are. Whether they're terrestrial from the seas and the oceans, or they're some underground. And if you never watched my multiple videos, I think I posted it 3 times, where Iran admitted to having 2,200 kilometers of deep underground military bases. And in that, they said they had underground seaports that led out to the ocean, Gulf, whatever, where they had submarines, they had aircraft, they had nautical vehicles that would, this is what they claim from the Republican National Guard, that would do 105 knots. If you're not familiar with what knots is, it's kind of like the analogy for miles per hour on water. The fastest naval vessel in the United States military will travel maybe 45 knots, mostly 35 knots top speed. So what the Republican National Guard said that they can literally do circles around the U.S. Navy, literally. So don't think that some of these countries that, you know, are oil rich didn't reach out to some of these defunct countries from the USSR and under the table purchase some nuclear weapons. Whether those have fallen in the hands of terrorist organizations and been smuggled into the United States of America for future detonation, which could happen anytime now, as we basically just opened the barn door and took vacation and just let anything wander in and out without recourse. Y'all just, I know what humans are capable of. When you have nothing left to lose, you'll do anything. Anything. I've seen people killed for playing a radio too loud. Yeah. A postage stamp. Hang on. For that little thing right there. Hang on, get the glare. Yeah. A stamp. A first class stamp. One stamp. Imagine what they'll do if as soon as they go back to their country, they get deported, they're going to go right back into prison. So what else they got to lose? Because they're going to spend the rest of their life in prison in their own home country, like Venezuela, they get kicked out of. And I think Maduro over in Venezuela, I think he executed himself. When he said he was going to invade Puerto Rico with the Brazilian army, you think Trump's going to let that happen? Wait till you see what happens to Venezuela. Regime change. The United States has perfected it. Perfected it. Panama, Honduras, Haiti, Dominican Republic, and Iraq, Syria, all these countries where we put in our own puppets through the CIA, through economic hitmen. If you haven't read that book, Confessions of an Economic Hitman, I highly recommend it. And it'll break it all down to you how the United States goes in and takes over these countries, installs their own puppet master. So I'm really interested to see how basically a 4-year college education that Donald Trump attained from 2016 to 2020, how the evolution of that education is going to play out in 2024 to 2028. In 2026, the midterm elections, your ass better get out there and do your part. We have to get rid of every single one of these Democrats, every single one of these rhinos who are Republican in name only, who side with the Democrats, go against the conservative Republican movement. And I'm not saying the Republican Party is, oh my God, they're the greatest fucking thing on the face of the earth. No, it's corrupt. Absolutely. I was very disappointed when Laura Trump stepped down as the co-chair. Extremely disappointed because I thought she was going to go in there and shake things up and really make it happen and just shake it all out and get these fucking rhinos out of it and say, hey, y'all want to play like that? Y'all go over there and play with the Democrats and the gay agenda. So we got business. We got work over here to do. We're trying to fucking save this damn country. We're trying to save our lives, folks. Y'all know how hard it is to survive right now. And, you know, all the menial jobs these illegals are taking. My landscaping company, they hired illegals left and right. Man, there's always a new crew in here who didn't know anything about vegetation, ornamental plants, nothing. So I called the HOA and I freaking complained and complained and complained. And guess what? There's not one more illegal alien on that crew. They don't even come over here with 8, 12 guys anymore. They don't even be like 4. And that's how you make change. You call these hoes out. You put them on Front Street and you dress them down. It's time you stand up and be heard. Don't sit on your laurels and expect somebody to come save your goddamn ass, because nobody's coming to save you. You need to save your own ass. Be prepared. Be ready. Be knowledgeable. Be educated. Be proactive. 2026. That's going to be the make it or break it. That's when we finally need to put our foot down and squash all these freaking political parties. I would like them both to go away. All of them. Why do we even need a political party? I just want to hear what your stance is, what you're going to do, how you're going to help out America or your city, your county, your state, your parish, your town. What are you going to do to make it better? Less tyrannical, less regulation, less fines, fees, and taxes. Perfect example. Why does a governmental agency or department have to have a union? They work for us. If you don't want to work for the government, fucking beat it. I don't need to negotiate with you. You either want the job or not. If you don't want it, go to the private sector. Tons of jobs out there. If you don't like it, go to another fucking country. Get the fuck out of here. Only you can make change. Only you. All right, baby girl. I'm going to come play with you, all right? Can you give me 4 minutes? 4? 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? You're such a good dog. I've got the awesomest dog. She is so cool. I love her to death. Let me get down here and close out on the comments. Nuclear bombs are a hoax. Look it up. You can say they're a hoax. Nope, I'm not falling for that. We're going to have to agree to disagree on that. Brandon Joe Williams, the guy James Lovett knows, is looking to book shows. Might be an interesting guest to chat with. Just putting the info out there. David, if you want to contact me behind the scenes, discuss that quickly. It won't take long. Be more than happy to. I know who Brandon Joe Williams is. I could have had him on the show about 17 months ago when he first popped on the scene. There's a reason he's not on my show. We have a primary in Florida, January 28th. Donald John Trump wants us to vote for Randy Fine for Congress. I don't know anything about that. If you're in Florida, I want you to go. Well, they took her channel down. She just sent me an email today, told me they took her Rumble channel down. Christine Q. Scott, Christine Scott, She has filed multiple litigations on election fraud. Her main one was Scott versus Ronald DeSantis, governor, among other state and county officials, regarding the 2020 and 2022 elections in Florida in her jurisdiction. I think she ran for Congress and, got the suppression and everything. And she's been putting out videos, and for some reason, Rumble took her channel down. Let me go just double check. Because when I've done interviews with her, she's been on my show. She was actually getting hacked by one of the alphabet agencies who was in the law library with her, sitting right across from her, and they were watching each other. It was crazy. She's like, I see him. He's right in front of me, and he's doing it. Oh yeah, they definitely took her down. Nope. Villagers for Trump. Yep. They pulled her channel. Rumble pulled her channel. Now, I don't know if it was Rumble, but that was her platform. And some entity took her channel down. And it wasn't even that controversial. Let me show you guys real quick. Hang on, baby girl. I'm coming. Here's one of the ones that I did. Christine Scott versus DeSantis. Christine Scott versus DeSantis. This is John Harris Thaler and Christine Scott, greatest show on earth. You don't know who John Harris Thaler is? He wrote this book right here, Report to the Governor. There you go. On September 19th, 2020, McKinley Harris Thaler, nearly 3 years old, was abducted. At that time, McKinley's dad was investigating money laundering and public corruption in his home state of Arizona. The abduction was intended to extort dad into terminating the investigation concerning. To date, neither dad nor dad's family members nor family friends has seen McKinley or received any communication from him. Dad does not know where his son is to this day. Kidnapped by the drug cartels. Absolutely. Here's some other people that have emulated Christine's stuff. Again, here's another one that I did. Another one. As you see how I do support the underdog, the women who are out there on the front lines fighting for your rights, your freedom to change the world. So there you go. That's about it for her over there. I will probably have her on the show soon. I told her, I said, hey, if you want to do some videos, send them to me. I'll put them up on my platform. She's like, are you sure you want to do that? And I was like, did you miss Fearless in my name? What are they going to do? Come arrest me for fucking free speech? Good luck with that. Good luck with that. Brandon Joe Williams, he just sent a massive email message out. That is why I mentioned him. Yeah, of course he did. Like I said, hit me on the down low. Vitamin V, B17 is available, but it's called apricot pit extract. Absolutely. They had to change the game up. Dave Cook. Floyd, is the new rainbow money that is chipped sitting in the banks now that the bad guys' money, the CBDC? I don't know, Dave. I've asked every time I go in my Wells Fargo branch, and the manager knows. When I walk in there, the manager, if he's talking to somebody, he'll leave them and walk up to me and say, hey, how you doing, Floyd? There's a reason he does that. But I've asked everybody I know that works at a bank or has worked at a bank. Nobody's seen the rainbow currency. Blue Sky, what's wrong with Brandon? I don't know. Maybe you should ask Brandon because, truth, transparency, and accountability. Right, folks? Y'all know I'm a convicted felon. I told y'all over and over and over I fucking mismanaged my life. So that's up to Brandon. It's not me up to tell y'all about Brandon. It's about you doing your own due diligence. I've already done mine. I'm exhausted covering the scammers, grifters, con artists, thieves, liars like Anna, David, Chris Hauser, Patrick Marino, Scam Anderson. Man, I can go down the goddamn list. It's pathetic. Pathetic. Just got rid of one myself. All the good people on Telegram think it's good money, but Trump never mentioned it at all. I think it's Biden's money to control since it's chipped. I don't know, Dave. I can't tell you. I can tell you this. The United States of America is about $200 trillion in debt. Okay? When you add everything up, that's what it comes to. 36, 37 trillion just in U.S. national debt. Then you have 17 trillion that's insured by the FDIC, which is under the executive branch of the United States government. So tack that on. Then you tack on credit card debt, mortgage debt, student loan debt, and you're up there. All right, baby girl, I'm coming. Hang on. In Charlevoix, they raid your house for freedom of speech. Yeah, I already know. Lex Anima. Speaking of strong women, some are praising a strong lady named Jessica Wayne Henley, who is a trailblazer in the movement. Nope. No trailblazing there. Flame out. Do you know how many people I listen to? I have no idea, Blue Sky. None of us know. That debt belongs to we the people, but we have to claim it. How are you going to claim hypothecated, fictionally created money? That money's not backed about anything. It's just hypothecated. Y'all don't know what that means. It's just, somebody adds value to it without putting anything intrinsic to it. It's just a number. It's a digital account. May your appointment go well. Godspeed, Fearless. Thank you very much for that. And have to take care of a little business on the side there. So thank you all for watching. I've got to go take care of my business and do what I need to do. So remember, tomorrow I have all So please tune in tomorrow for Jim Gale. We're going to talk about entrepreneurship, backpacking in so many different countries, his visit to Costa Rica where he learned about permaculture. We're going to talk about permaculture, talk about his different educational websites where you can go join and learn how to utilize permaculture in your life. And again, because of the toxins and poisons going across America, don't forget to pick you up